Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. I was just thinking about the Sony a9, as I'm sure a lot of people are. It's a very impressive looking camera. It's shaken up a lot of the industry because it's, again, Sony pushing forward some pretty serious technological advancements, introducing a very impressive camera. But it brought a question to my mind, and that is that this is their pro level, not DSLR. It's a, I guess I don't know if it's still technically a DSLT, but it's their DSLR killer. It's at that level. We're not talking about the smaller, more compact bodies. It's a larger body. What is Sony planning to do about the high megapixel market? We know that the A7R Mark II has a 42 megapixel sensor. This camera, the A9, was brought out to compete with the Canon 1DX Mark II, the Nikon D5. It's got 4 more megapixels at 24, and it beats both of those with their 20 megapixel sensors. But is Sony planning another high megapixel brother to the A9? In other words, are we going to see something like an A11 at 42 megapixels or greater? I'm saying greater because the 42 megapixel sensor has been out for a bit now with the A7R Mark II, and I think we've got Canon with the 50. I expect Nikon to release the D810 update well upwards of 50. I'm hoping maybe closer to 100. I've talked about that before. What's Sony going to do here? I think Sony has the capability to come out with something very impressive. Are we going to see an A11? Let's just call it an A11 as a brother, big brother to the A9, the same way that there's the 5DS and the 5DSR, which is the big brother of the Canon 5D Mark IV. The Nikon D810 is the big brother to the D5 in the terms of resolution. Will we see a A11, say, at 42 plus megapixels? Maybe 100 megapixels? Maybe earth-shattering? Maybe closer to 200? Is that coming? Or is the A9 all Sony has planned in this body type, and that they will stick with A7R updates as their high megapixel cameras? In other words, if you want the high megapixel camera, you shoot the A7R. And we're probably going to see an A7R III at a higher megapixel rate. But the question here is, and what made me curious was, with the release of the A9, you could very easily, if you're Sony, bring out a big brother, and resolution-wise, an A11, let's say, with a very high megapixel sensor. What do you guys think? Do you think this is something that's on the horizon? Do you think this is coming from Sony? Or do you think, no, they're going to stay with, say, the A7R, the coming A7R III, as their high megapixel body, and that there won't be an A9 style camera with a higher resolution sensor? Let me know in the comments below. I'm curious to know what you think. Have you heard something I haven't heard? Is there already been a little leak about this? Has there been not just speculation, but some rumors or some leaks that this is coming? Let me know in the comments below. I'm just curious. It was a question that came to mind. And then I guess secondary to that, would you be interested in that? Would a A11 at higher resolution, basically an A9 with a higher resolution sensor, is that more of interest to you than the A9 is? Let me know if that's the case in the comments below. Let's discuss it. It's interesting question that popped into my head, and I just wanted to share it with you and see what you guys thought. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon here at artoftheimage.com.